Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Afya Yetu. Today we are shooting at the beautiful Alps Hotel in Milimani, Nakuru, and we are broadcasted live on Tumaini TV. Tumaini TV on YouTube is Tumaini TV KE, and if you want to follow us on Facebook is Tumaini TV. And we have our numbers for inquiries and questions of any kind. The numbers to question us through are 0736 991 958 and 0110 100 258. I'll repeat that again. 0736 991 958 0110 100 258. I'll be your host, Miss Cynthia, and together with
Collins Doe, the CEO Nyaluk Foundation.
On today's episode, we want to talk about infertility. Infertility is a topic that is very sacred and mostly untouched because of the issues that surround it. In basic knowledge, infertility in Kenya is more of someone who cannot conceive. But today on the panel, we want to discuss what infertility is, what does it entail, and most probably how to manage infertility. So welcome, Dr. Doe. And to start us off, I would like to know, what does infertility mean?
So, as per the World Health Organization, infertility only means that inability to get pregnant or to fertilize a lady or to make a lady pregnant after having frequent coitus within 12 months. So it's just inability for this lady to get pregnant or for you to make her pregnant within 12 months of frequent sex, and the sex is unprotected. Yes.
So it is a 1 year long process. In 1 year, that's when you know you're infertile or not.
Yeah, but you know, fertility cases also depends on case-to-case cases. Like you get maybe when you are young, like as per the World Health Organization, a lady should always, okay, it's recommended that they get pregnant from 24 to 34, and you get that with the age, you get that these ovaries, they produce ova. Now, these ova, they normally degenerate with time. So you get, as you age, these ovaries, they get finished, as in they decrease in numbers. So as the age progresses, the infertility in cases increases. So let's say for a lady, maybe between 24 to, let's say 27, we can say maybe a 1 year intercourse, we can define that as infertility. But a lady above 36 years, because you get that maybe after 36 years, you see that the likelihood to get pregnant reduces because of the ovaries and the follicles are degenerating. So after 36 years, we can say 6 months. Yes.
Okay. And how common is infertility?
Infertility is common. It affects almost 12% of people who are in marriage. So it's also common. And just to add on, you know, infertility varies because we have primary infertility and secondary infertility. Primary infertility is where you get that this lady has one gotten pregnant and now she cannot get pregnant. That's now secondary infertility. But in primary infertility, you get that the lady has never gotten pregnant. So it's different, but they are normally categorized into those two. So you've gotten pregnant and you cannot get pregnant again, and you've never gotten pregnant.
In basic layman language, is infertility a women's problem?
No, it's not. It's both. So you get like, in most infertility cases, normally you get the 30% cases are women related, 30% are men related, then 30% is the both genders. It can be both of you, and 10% is normally idiopathic. It's not known. The cause is not known. Yes.
Which then leads us to the question, what are the signs of and symptoms of infertility in both men and women?
So before I answer that, maybe I can just go briefly on maybe the anatomy and physiology of human genitalia. Like you see, infertility, like we have the central issues and the peripheral issues, to mean that the central are issues to do with the brain, and the peripheral issues are the issues to do with the ovaries, the testes, the fallopian tube, the uterus, and what have you. So you see, if we can just categorize, maybe if we can just narrow down the infertility to maybe to men or women, we can have an overview of the male structure. Because you see, for you to produce sperms, let's say, there have to be a direct coordination from the brain to the peripheral organs. So like in the brain, we get that there are two major organs, not major organs, parts of the brain, which deals with in matters sperm production. Like we have the hypothalamus and the something called the anterior pituitary. In the hypothalamus, it produces a hormone by the name gonadotrophin releasing hormone. This gonadotrophin releasing hormones goes to the anterior pituitary to release two hormones, which is follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. These hormones goes down to the testes to initiate the sperm production. That's called the spermatogenesis. So you get, when we have a problem in the brain, maybe you have a tumor in the brain and you cannot produce these two hormones, this man cannot produce sperms. Even if it can produce sperms, you get that those sperms are not mature or not in good position to fertilize this woman. So you get that we have the central problems, then we have the peripheral problems.
Okay.
So if we can just narrow down to the peripheral organs, so we have the testes. The testes is the powerhouse of sperm production. Then from there, we go to the somewhere there above the testes, we have the epididymis. Epididymis is where after the sperm production, it goes there for maturation. So it's like a storage area. Then from the epididymis, we have something called the vas deferens. The vas deferens connect the epididymis to the ejaculatory duct. So from ejaculatory duct, just behind the prostate is where we get the vas deferens connects to the ejaculatory duct to the urethra. So if there is any issue between where the sperm is being produced to where it will being released, that person might have a problem with infertility.
Okay.
Yes. So having said that, maybe we can also review the female anatomy of the female anatomy of the sexual reproductive system. It's the same, but the only difference is that the woman has different anatomy, and the man has different anatomy. But you see, like in the women also, we have the anterior pituitary, hypothalamus. From hypothalamus, we get the production of luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone. The follicle stimulating hormones stimulate the follicles of the ovary to start producing the hormone by the name estrogen.
Okay. So
So this estrogen, in a way, controls the luteinizing hormone, and there is ovulation which takes place. So if there is a defect in production of the estrogen, the ovulation will not take place. So if you have no ovulation, you cannot get pregnant. So hapo, we have like a follicle stimulating hormone. Then this follicle stimulating hormone, after, let's say you have released an egg, there's something called the corpus luteum and corpus albicans. this corpus luteum and corpus albicans start producing an hormone by the name progesterone. Progesterone is a pregnancy hormone. Without it, there'll be no implantation.
Okay.
So if you get that, we have a problem in the brain, a problem in the peripheral organs, the lady cannot get pregnant. Same as to the man. Yes.
Oh, but we're still going to answer what are the signs and symptoms of infertility.
There's no basic sign and symptoms of infertility, but like we've said before, that inability to get pregnant within one year of frequent sexual intercourse and the sex is unprotected. But for a man, we can say that maybe if you have something like erectile dysfunction, erectile dysfunction is the inability to erect. I don't know how I can put it in simple terms, maybe in Swahili, but for a man, if you have inability to sustain erection, there's another one which is called the premature ejaculation. You deliver before arrival. Then there is loss of libido. Yeah, so you get that you are not interested with hizo. Then for women, it's also loss of libido, severe discomfort during sexual intercourse. You get that maybe during sexual intercourse you feel pain. Then also if you have a lot of secretions, because those secretions also, they trap sperms and the sperm cannot move to the uterus, to the tubes for the fertilization. Yes.
So how long should we try to conceive before we see a doctor? So you've gotten married, or if you're not married but you're staying with someone and you're trying to conceive. So how long should you before you see a doctor, other than the basic 1 year infertility rate?
So, you know, there's normally a scale on how we can determine that maybe you have infertility issues. Like, let's say you've gotten married today, then after like 2 months in ndoa ama in marriage, you get that there is like 20% chances of you getting pregnant, and the scale increases as the year goes, because you get after 12 months you are like at 90% chances of getting pregnant.
Okay.
So when you went to see a doctor, maybe it will depend with how you present. Mostly maybe if you have a familial history, maybe somebody in your family has a history of infertility, for both of you, you can see a doctor early. Also maybe if the man have these erectile dysfunctions, maybe he has premature ejaculation, and maybe the lady complains of painful sexual intercourse. I think those are the early signs you can unaweza enda kwa daktari. But also other signs are maybe if you see that you don't have the like secondary like male development features or female development features. Like for ladies, you can see that maybe they have more of male features than women, or for male they have like more of female features than male. Like there's a condition by the name Klinefelter syndrome, where you get that a man has 2X chromosome instead of 1. So they present with more female features. Like the men will develop breast, they will not have beards, they will not have the pubic hair, he's tall, such like things. Or maybe if you have a history of undescended testes, during birth you have history of undescended testes, because you know testes is normally perineal organ, like it descends from the abdomen. So if you have a history of that, because it's one of the early signs of maybe in future, maybe if during birth the testes did not descend and they took so long to bring down, those are the early signs that this man might have infertility issues.
Thank you so much, Collins, for a beautiful insight. And viewers, we are going to go on a short break. If you have any questions, you can follow us on Facebook, on Tumaini TV, and on YouTube, Tumaini TV KE. Please type in your questions or inquiries on the same platforms. Thank you.
Je, ungependa kuwafikia wateja wengi? Ungependa kuongeza mauzo yako licha ya hali ya sasa ya kiuchumi? Basi, Tumaini TV ndio mshirika wako wa karibu wa matangazo ya kibiashara. Umati wetu mkubwa unasubiria kusikia ambacho utawapa kwa leo. Mbona usiongee nasi leo? Chukua fursa hii utupigie simu kwa 0736991958 ama 0778251419. Vilevile unaweza tuandikia barua pepe kwa info@tumainitv.co.ke. Tumaini TV, bringing hope to the nations.
Welcome back, viewers. We are still going on with our second part of our show on Afya Yetu. Afya Yetu is being broadcasted live on Tumaini TV, and we are talking about infertility. Infertility, like I said, is a very, very interesting area. And if you have any questions, please text us or call us on 0736 991958 or 0110-100-258. I would like to know, Collins, can infertility be cured? Now that we've established that I need to see, as a couple, a young couple who are, even old couple that are just starting out to raise their own family, and I've discovered that I am infertile, can it be cured?
Yeah, depending on the cause, because as we mentioned, causes can be either central or peripheral, and we have so many causes. So most cases it can be cured, but you get, in some cases, even matters of incompatibility, you get, maybe you are not compatible with your partner, you cannot, you might have infertility. And maybe you get that, these cases where you get, this lady is with this man, they cannot get pregnant. This lady cannot get pregnant, but when she goes with another man, she gets pregnant. So those are cases of infertility. Then I think so many people can get cured from infertility. Like I know of so many clients which we've managed, and finally they've gotten pregnant. But as I said earlier, if you can identify the cause of infertility early enough, then you can always manage the disease. Like, let's say, for example, maybe a lady has maybe hormonal imbalance. The moment you balance the hormone, the lady will get pregnant. Maybe she has ovarian cysts. After you've done with the ovarian cyst, because with ovarian cysts we have two types. We have pathological and non-pathological. And mostly non-pathological, hizi ni zenye zinaletwa because of hormonal imbalance. So ukisha balance two hormones zimekuwa sawa, kama hiyo ndio ilikuwa inasababisha hiyo infertility, the lady will just get pregnant. For a man, maybe kama akona some blockage somewhere, after you've opened the blockage, the sperm will just pass and he'll fertilize the lady. Yeah, so it's curable, and we have so many gynecological doctors and obstetricians around who manages the infertility. Yes.
So does this also mean that this medicine, herbal medicine that people buy on the street, can also help cure infertility?
So I don't know. From my experience, I've seen people do herbals and it worked. And I've also seen people do herbals and they die from herbals. So issue inakuwaga tu, like in herbal, like people wamekuwa creative nowadays. Like you get what they normally do, okay, to the cases I've heard of and the cases the researcher was done, like you get this herbal medicine, they sell you on the street. Then what they do, they go to the chemist, buy the normal drugs, wanaeka hapo hivyo ndani. So wakishaeka hapo hivyo ndani, wana mix na hizo herbs zao. But mark they don't know the dosage. Maybe you are supposed to take 1 tab, they'll put like 2-3 tabs. That's overdosing and it's very dangerous. So you get these people get these herbals and they get sick, they die because of liver failure. So normally, okay, I don't know, because even before the Western medicine came, we were using herbals and it was working. It's only that sasa we should embrace change. If you have any case of infertility, maybe your friend, your family, or somebody whom you know, just tell them to see a doctor. I think it's wiser that way than to kutumia herbs. Because even if unaendaga kwa huo mtu wa herb, unamwambia ati now me I have a problem, na hii problem maybe siwezi shika mimba. Like then they'll give you maybe a concoction to take. Then ukiwaambia ati just give me the like the dried one, I go make it myself, they will not allow you. So you don't know what you are taking and you don't know the dosage you are taking. Because if you are told maybe ati chukua glass moja ya this concoction, and you don't know, the glasses are different. So maybe unaweza chukua ndogo, unaweza chukua kubwa. So you don't know, normally you don't know the exact dose and you don't know what you are taking. And even if, you know, even the drugs which we are using, we have the antidote for them. Just in case it goes haywire, there's always a drug. Kuna dawa unaweza pewa na reverse the effect ya hii dawa ingine. Sasa hii concoction ikienda ambayo utachukua dawa gani? So hiyo ndio issue. But you get that most of these drugs are gotten from trees and what have you, roots and nini, but they are processed and they are measured. So if you have any case of infertility, just go see a doctor and they'll help you. Because I know it's one of the most stressing thing between couples. And it brings a lot of blame games. Ati issue ni wewe, sijui mara mimi niliaishika mimba, sijui mara mimi nimaipeana mimba, sijui nini vituka hizo. But hata kama umaishika mimba, hata kama umaipeana mimba, so there's always something called secondary infertility. Secondary infertility is when ulishapeana mimba ama ulishaipata mimba and uko na mtoto na huwa kuna mtoto, but now you cannot get that baby again. So hizo issues ukienda kwa daktari address, aone ni shida iko wapi, because like venye uko sahi si venye utakuwa kesho. Unaweza kuwa mzima sahi, uko mzima kabisa, na maybe God forbid kesho uanze kudevelop tumor in the anterior pituitary, a part of that brain which produces those two hormones, nini LH and FSH. So unapata hii tumor ina suppress production of those hormones. Now without those hormones you cannot produce testosterone, you cannot produce nini estrogen, and without estrogen you cannot produce nini progesterone. So unapata hata kama umaipata hizo nini issue, kama umaipata mtoto na nao uwezi, just go see a doctor. There'll be a lot of lab works, a lot of investigation which will be done to know where the problem exactly is. Then from there nini kuna madawa mingi sana yenye unaweza pewa na unaweza pata mimba ama unaweza peana mimba.
So ladies and gentlemen, you've heard, ni kwa imani ya Mungu na kwa uwezo wa daktari. Anyway, moving on, we want to also know what fertility testing should our fertility doctor perform?
Oh, the testing depends on like sasa niseme, let's go on we can start with a lady because tulisema huko hivyo mwanzo ati one of the causes of infertility is hormonal imbalance. Maybe you see this lady ana features za mwanamke, so most likely some hormones are not working well. So we'll start with a simple test like maybe nini. Okay, before we go to the investigations, we will do like a physical exam. Do this lady have maybe are the breasts there, the genitalia there, can you feel, yeah, just general exam, physical exam. Then after physical exam, daktari atakuangalia aone kama uko sawa, then after hapo atakupeleka lab. So in the lab, the variety of tests yenye inaweza fanywa. Tunaweza angalia maybe kama hiyo hormonal profiling, kama hormones zako ziko sawa. After hormonal profile tunaweza maybe kama uko na any shida yoyote, maybe infection, vitu kaa hizo. We can do maybe urine test, blood tests, vitu kaa hizo. Then after that, we can always do a scan. We can do a pelvic scan to look for ovaries kama ziko sawa, uterus kama iko sawa, if the tubes are patent, na the general nini genitalia. Then also we can do maybe brain scan, CT scan or MRI, just to look at your brain and what have you, and look at the hypothalamus and the nini pituitary kama ziko sawa. For a man also we can do the general test, the physical examination. We check for the testes, if this man is developing breasts, vitu kaa hizo. Then after physical examination, we can also do the pelvic scan, pelvic ultrasound and testicular ultrasound to see if to see the status of the testes, the status of the tubes, and also the scan. We can also do the scan of the brain to see if everything iko sawa up there. Yes.
And can I test my infertility at home?
Hey, how now? But you can do yourself a physical exam, but there are some tests that paka uende tu kwa daktari ndio atakusaidia, but maybe if you are a doctor you can.
What is this physical tests I can do at home? Basic
physical exam test. Like there's something, okay, just to take you back a bit, there's something called MENAC. MENAC ni when the lady ameanza kuona periods yake mara ya kwanza. Then there's pubac. Pubac ni yenye sasa nini breasts zimeanza kutokea. So you get in some cases for some unknown reasons, ladies wanapata early MENAC or late MENAC. So hizi issues zina contributing to fertility ya mwanamke. So kama umeanza periods very late, unajua hapa hivi maybe kuna issue hapa. Ama umeanza kudevelop breast very late, hizi inakuonyesha kuna issues za hormones hapa hivi. Alafu pia inaitwaje, how the organs zimedevelop. So hizo ndio sasa issues zenye unaweza jua ati hapa hivi yenyewe kuna shida. So hizo ndio some of the physical exams you can do at home. Yes.
Okay. Come to think of it, does age affect Does age have an impact on fertility in the case of a man?
Yeah, it does. But for men, you know, there's some degenerative changes which happens with age. Like you get, for men, they can always impregnate a lady until very late. But you see, in so not much, but I think it affects, because you get, maybe as you advance in age, also these like, you know, the testes with age, it shrinks, and so is the brain, and you get that maybe venye mwanamume anaendelea kuzeeka, the cases of infertility pia inakuwa hapo, but it's so little as compared to a lady, because for a lady you get that you know, a lady is born with a specific number of ova. Na these ova wao wana release per month, na kuna zenye zina kufaga tu hapo hivyo. So unapata with age hizi ovum zinakuwa depleted. So ladies specifically with age, because sorry, you get, as you advance in age, these ovaries zinakuwa depleted, then zinaisha. That's now sasa tunasema ati huyu mwanamke ameingia kwa menopause. But unajua for a man, sperm zinakuwa produced as long as you are alive. But sasa cases zenye unaweza pata, maybe for a man you get, maybe with age you cannot sustain erection, with age you get premature ejaculation, with age you get the testes shrinks, and maybe the quality of sperms also inakuwa interfered with. So you get, maybe with advancement in age, you get that if this man gives, maybe impregnates a lady, the probability that that baby will come with some defects, like atakuwa na mashida, like maybe, for example, maybe Down syndrome and what have you, itakuwa very high. Yeah.
But age does determine infertility for a woman.
Yeah, actually it does, it really does, because you see, that's, sasa hapo hivyo ndio sasa tunasemaga ati mwanamke amefika menopause. Nilikuwa nimekuambia ati the menarche. Menarche ni time yenye amepata period zake, na time yenye hizi periods zitasize. Because wao wanasema ati pia menopause is the cessation of menses for 1 year. Yenye imeisha tu, yani for a whole year hujaiona menses. Hiyo sasa tunasema umefika menopause. But menopause inakuja when you can no longer ovulate, because the follicles zimeisha, the ovaries zimeisha, na there's no production of, if there's little production of estrogen and progesterone. So unapata sasa with age, unapataga hao wanawake wakifika menopause, they tend to develop like main features. Unapataga wengine wana develop beards, vitu kaa hizo, because of hizo hormones za wanawake zinakuwa less kabisa. So with age ina affect sana wanawake sana. So like for example, you can get, maybe a lady gets to early menopause. Ukipata menopause at 40, that's early menopause. So the normal age is 45 to 50 hapo. So unajua sasa with menopause, like there's a research which we are doing, we are trying to reverse the menopause, na haikufanyika.
Reverse menopause, I'm interested, I'm curious.
No, you know, so like you get that this lady gets into early menopause, you do a scan, you get maybe the follicles are still there, and this lady really wants to get pregnant. So, and the cessation of menses. Now you are trying to give hormonal supplements so that the menses can come. After the menses, maybe you can trigger ovulation, but it didn't work. But this lady was so young at 40, but it didn't work. Yeah.
Na so tukikaribia kumaliza, what are some of the myths or things you've heard about infertility that you'd like to put a stop to?
Oh, there's always myths and misconception on all, I think most of the things like infertility, like some things maybe kuna mtu amekuendea place, umerogwa vitu kaa hizo. Alafu some things maybe because you see like I don't know, like right now, like let's say maybe you've ever like nini hizi vitu za miscarriage, maybe you get pregnant, it goes nini you lose the baby. Yeah, so wanasema ati maybe umerogwa vitu kaa hizo, maybe somebody don't want you to get pregnant, maybe vitu kaa hizo, but I think nini, let's just embrace nini
medicine.
Yeah, let's just embrace medicine, and if you get there's any issue with you, if you have any problem with getting pregnant, see the right people, you'll be helped. And I think sahi technology may advance sana. Technology may advance because as we speak right now, for a lady, you can preserve your eggs until when you want to get pregnant, so that you're not worried about the menopause. Alafu sahi hata tunaweza fanya nini IVF, hiyo ni pregnancy, like we just go harvest the sperms, then fertilize the lady, then you can also even have surrogate mothers. So with this advancement of technology, and if maybe you can always adopt a child. There are so many children outside there. So haufai tu kusema tu sasa mimi ni mimi sasa mpaka ni bebe. Kama imeshindikana unaweza on medical grounds, that is unaweza bebewa hiyo mimba, ama tunaweza fanya like sasa unapataga like a man maybe ana produce sperms, na hizo sperms ziko of low quality. Sasa what we normally do, we harvest the sperms, then we look for the quality sperms, then these quality sperms ndio zita fertilize the egg, na hiyo egg ita fertilizewa outside the body in the lab, then we go and implant. So ni advancement in technology. So you just go harvest the egg, harvest the sperm, fertilize outside the body, implant, the lady carries the pregnancy to term. So that usiseme ati unajua sasa nini kitu yenye ina affect watu sana ni like sasa unapata maybe you're a man or you're a lady, this nini you cannot get pregnant, you break, unavunja ndoa, unaenda kutafuta mtu mwingine, maybe huo mtu mwingine tena uwezi pata nayo mtoto tena, inavunja. So kama uwezi nini, look for doctor's advice. There are so many options. Then kama imeshindikana kabisa, because 10% is idiopathic. Hiyo 10% ni mingi sana, because unapata umepima dem ama umepima mwanamke ako sawa, the lady is so okay, the man is so okay, and they cannot get pregnant. So such like cases unapata tu sasa hapo hivyo unaweza fanya hiyo IVF, ama unaweza tafuta surrogate vitu kama hizo, ama unaweza adopt. Because hapa hivi unajua ni Mungu ndio anapeana watoto. So kama umeforce na imekataa usivunje ndoa juu ya hiyo.
Okay, and at Nyaluk Foundation, is there anything you do for such cases, infertility? Do you offer these treatments as Nyaluk, or?
Okay, cases like
now infertility.
Cases of infertility are so expensive, and they're not that cheap, and at time you get most insurances don't cover the cases of infertility. Yeah, so you get that it's so expensive. So at Nyaluk, what we normally do, like maybe if we identify there's a case, maybe a lady is suffering from infertility, a man is suffering from infertility, I think the best we can do, because it's so expensive, we cannot even afford. Because like doing like hormonal profile alone in a woman is around 10,000. You see, it's so expensive. So how many people can afford 10,000 just like that? Like doing like IVF is like 300 to 500,000. You see, it's so expensive. So what we normally do, we just refer. We refer to Nakuru level 5
okay.
For for further investigation. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think maybe, I don't know if maybe some people, some bodies or some organization can come to help, because you get, maybe these people are so poor they cannot afford, and they really want a kid, and they cannot even afford to adopt, because process of adoption is so, pia ni ngumu sana.
Pia.
Not expensive, but ni ngumu. There are a lot of processes on adoption. So unapata, alafu pia we live in a community where people don't embrace, like unajua African society wa embrace sana adoption.
Yeah, adoption.
Alafu unajua sasa adoption unaweza fanya tu kama uko town. Niseme tu sasa uko huko hivyo ushago huko na mwezi pata mtoto, na umesema ati unataka kuenda kutafuta mtoto. The villagers won't accept. So hizo ndio issues. But it's so expensive, by the way.
So tukimalizia, is there something you'd like the viewers to know? Something you'd like to share?
Yeah, so what I will just say, maybe if you have such like cases, you can always visit us in our facility. Right now we are having 2 hospitals. One in Nakuru Town CBD, Nasha Plaza, first floor. It's opposite Mheshimiwa Hotel, just Mosque Road. And we also have another hospital in Njoro, Kiingo, Kiingo Center. So utaona tu hapo hivyo imeandikwa Mtukani Hospital, and this one is Nakuru Nyaluk Medical Clinic. Yeah.
Okay. All right, viewers, we've heard what we needed to hear, and like I said, infertility is a sensitive issue, and if we're having conversations with people who have gone through infertility or are going through infertility, I think it is important to stop asking the questions that you're not supposed to ask. Stop asking people why they can't have children. It might be a personal decision, it might be an infertility issue. And let's also just embrace medicine like we've shared on this panel today. It was a beautiful show. And we want to say thank you to the Alps Hotel for hosting us today, and to Tumaini TV. We are Tumaini TV KE on YouTube, and we are live on Facebook at Tumaini TV. Our numbers are still 0736 991958 and 0110 100 258. And at this juncture, we want to say goodbye and thank you so much, and may God bless you. Amen.